So how can Jess go from starting from absolute zero to over 10,000 and shooting for 20,000 a month in less than 4 weeks?
And then when I signed up with Josh, I was like, okay, so first 6 weeks, I'd like to make 10,000. Like when I had my first thing with him, I'd like to make 10,000. So now I've already passed that. And I remember we had a group call a couple weeks ago, and I said I would like to make $20,000 next year, like 20,000 a month. And I can honestly say, I have no doubt that will happen, and I'm sure it will look like pennies, because at this point, it's just like, it's not that it's easy. It's just that when you know what to do at the right time, it seems effortless.
The exact system I'm going to show you right now is what she's been using to be able to do this. And yeah, she's a single mum of 2 kids. She is awesome.
You know, through Chris's help, we had to get me out of my comfort zone and actually had to start making some steps, reaching out to get growth in my business. And that's when I actually went to a gym locally, ran an open day through there, and that very day, I just quit my job at the hardware only that Friday before, and I sold $39,000 worth of personal training for the year. And that point, I was just like, this is insane. I'm actually gonna start making money doing what I love.
And for you dudes, how does Callum sell $39,000 of PT in just 2 days? It's the exact same system I'm gonna show you now. So to make this work, you've got to ask yourself, do you have an end-to-end system for you to sign on new clients each and every week? Because if you don't, or if you think you need a better system, then this episode is for you. As I'm going to show you the 2 modules that you can start using from today to start signing on clients. And also, if we're just meeting for the first time, hi, I'm Chris Dufay. I'm the CEO and founder of the Coaches Cartel. And really simply, we help smart fitness professionals get more clients and more freedom. So the 2 steps that you need to be able to follow to be able to set up your dead easy sales process starts with you understanding a sales funnel. Here it is, really simply. It's an upside down triangle, but we've got to break it into 3 parts, because the top of the sales funnel is where you need to start building an audience. This is what we call top of funnel in like marketing mumbo jumbo, but this is where people are going to be skeptical. Now, building your audience essentially means that we need to get people that don't know you to know you. So we need to set up that system so that we can do that. And that doesn't mean you randomly DMing people on Instagram or just posting on social media multiple times a day. It's a system that we can trust that's going to build your audience day in, day out. The second part of this is middle of funnel, but this is where we need to start filling your funnel. This is the campaign that's second in line. And this is where people are curious. They've seen your stuff, but they're curious about what it is that you do, and they're not really sold on you. So we need to build a relationship. Filling your funnel is essentially about building a relationship so we can get people to see you as the go-to coach. Because then the third part of the sales funnel, and the bottom of funnel in marketing mumbo jumbo, is where we need to start filling applications. This is where people are hot. This is where we use the sales pipeline to be able to take them through those last 6 steps to make sure that you are then signing on clients each and every week. And this is exactly what Jess has been using. Jess, for us to kick off, I'd love for you to share with everyone, like, who are you? What are you doing? What's your business all about? Who do you serve?
Okay, so I am a 33-year-old mom of 2. I have been working out since I was like 15 years old. It was always like my outlet, but I didn't know how to piece it together with nutrition. Like I knew how to feel great, I just didn't know how to look great with it. And then I had 2 kids, and that became further and further away. And then I hired Mark Carroll.
Yes.
And I lost a crap ton of weight with him. I'm still working with him now, like 2.5 years later. He's amazing. I cannot say anything bad about that man.
That's awesome.
And he honestly changed my life. I just realized that like everything that I've done up to this point has been to kind of slowly turn myself into like a really good coach.
Yep.
And it's been my passion. So I guess what I do is I help women. I just empower women to create their sustainable balance, and it looks different for every single woman. I don't necessarily just help moms, but I do end up with a lot of moms.
What were you trying to do? Like, what I find really interesting is when we start talking to coaches, like the amount of things they were doing before that weren't working. What were those things?
Honestly, I think like just getting people into that initial call. I think I just was just like, I would say, okay, I'm taking on a few clients, and like I would leave a spot for you to send me your email, and I'd send that information. I think like the biggest problem that I was having was that I was then, okay, here are my packages, where I should be sitting down with you and like talking to you, and then being like, okay, what do you need from me now? Like, how do we get you what you need and what you want? Not, here you go, I don't really know what you want, but here, pick and choose whatever you like.
And the actual production of the content, I'd love for you to share, like, what is it that you're actually sharing that's sparking these conversations for you to start the conversation that leads to the sale?
So right now, currently, I have been doing like a lot of mindset stuff on my Instagram. I feel like it has just gotten me the most amount of traction. So I have been sticking with that. I don't really post workout videos very often. I feel like people can find them all over Instagram, people that do them very well. So I try to kind of share something mindset related that also has a bit of my story attached to it. And I think that's why people, when they come and sit down, honestly, it's really weird. And I understand it's probably because I'm on the cover of Mark's book, but like people down in front of me and they're like, I am so excited to finally meet you. I feel like I'm part of your life. And it's really weird to hear, but I think it is because I'm constantly trying to share part of my life. I'm trying to leave part of myself in every single one of my posts, if that makes sense.
That's amazing.
I was just going to say, honestly, I just didn't realize how easy Instagram is, and how I had kind of already hacked it, but I hadn't realized it. And I think that a lot of people kind of approach it like it is a sales platform, and it's not a sales platform. And honestly, they're not going to really read your posts. So if you're going to post something, always repost it to your story, because that's what people do. They're sitting absentmindedly clicking. If they see something that's catchy, they'll do it. If they see a poll, they will always answer it. And typically you can get conversations out of that. Use the damn polls.
Results. Let's talk about results so far. What's been happening with the actual growth of the business? Because I love how you kind of get to a point where you're kind of wanting me to cry you a river about having too many leads and too many sales. So what's actually been happening?
Well, okay, so I started off with you guys, and I think like that first week I got like 3 clients, and then the next week I got 3 clients, and then I started in those couple of weeks. I'm like, I need to find a way to, because I've had so many people starting to book consults. I'm like, I need to find a way to take on more at once, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I decided to do like a mini 8-week challenge, just no excuses, get a head start before the new year. Basically creating a social support group for 10 women. And I said right off the bat, I'm only taking 10 women. So that week, I think I got like 12 clients. So I got like the 10 for the challenge, and then I got 2 like one-on-one clients as well that were just too advanced to do it, but they wanted to work with me.
Amazing.
Last week, again, I had some spark of inspiration and decided to do a build challenge. So I have 10 women that are going to be signing up. I'm going to send an invoice out probably in 2 weeks. They all want to do it. And then I had 5 clients sign up like one-on-one. So I don't even know how many that is, but it's a lot.
I love that. That's so good. What does the future hold for you now? I think one thing that really interests me is once we have a coach come on board and we obviously get the traction, things are working really well for you, the mindset really opens up. And I know the conversations we first have, which is like, hey, where do you want to go? Dramatically changed to now. So I would love to know, where is it that you want to take this business now?
You probably don't remember this because you did the chat to client with me. But when I talked to you like 4 weeks ago, I said, I want to make $10,000 a month. And I literally have made that already.
So awesome. I'm going to have to find the message in my phone and get that. That's going to be so good. That's super fast.
And then when I signed up with Josh, I was like, okay, so first 6 weeks, I'd like to make 10,000. Like when I had my first thing with him, I'd like to make 10,000. So now I've already passed that. And I remember we had a group call a couple weeks ago, and I said I would like to make $20,000 next year, like 20,000 a month. And I can honestly say, I have no doubt that will happen, and I'm sure it will look like pennies, because at this point it's just like, it's not that it's easy, it's just that when you know what to do at the right time, it seems effortless.
That's really amazing. Now, the second part of this is what we call the 5 profit accelerators. And this is something we take every single person through that gets onto a strategy session. This makes it so easy to understand what do you have working, what do you have not working, and giving you the clear next steps of what to do. The first step that we have to do is to have you clearly identify, for you to choose a target market. Who is it that you actually want to help? You can't just say, I want to help everyone lose weight. That's not it. You need to be defined. Now, on the flip side of that, I also think a lot of people go way too far with this. Some people are saying, well, you need to have, let's say my target market is 25 to 28-year-old guys that earn between $35,000 and $75,000, that have a college degree, that live in this area, that have black hair and are right-handed. I don't think that's true at all. What we need to be able to do is 2 things when choosing a target market. What are the results that they want, and what are they interested in? Once we get clear on those things, then we can take it to the next profit accelerator, which really is we need to be able to compel prospects to be able to take the next steps for you. This is where we need to be able to show them through actually helping them, through giving them value in a way that they can consume it. This is where I find a lot of coaches fall into what I call the friend zone, which means they're putting content out into the world. You're getting people to see your stuff. You're getting people to maybe even engage with your social media, but the problem is they're not going into the next steps. They're not going into this sales pipeline, and they're certainly not signing into your programs. It falls into the friend zone, and that's not fun. So we need to get them out of the friend zone, and we need to get them into the next step. And that's where I learned from Dean Jackson. This is that third accelerator to focus on, is we need to be able to educate and motivate them to take that next step through. This is where your content needs to be defined. It needs to have a clear purpose. It needs to be structured in the right way to educate them, to motivate them to take that next step with you. Now, the fourth accelerator is where so many coaches go wrong. And this is where you think that maybe what you're doing is good, but this is where so many fall through. This is where we get a leaky sales pipeline. And that's where we need to put out an irresistible offer. Can you honestly say that what you're putting out into the world is like, hey, this is what I've got for you, is what your market actually wants? Because if they're not going into your sales pipeline, if you're not signing on clients, then you don't have an irresistible offer. I think that most coaches don't actually have a traffic problem. I think they've got a conversion problem at the end of the day. And this is where we solve that problem. We need to put out an offer in a way that we can clearly communicate it to them, and it gets them to say, oh my God, that's a no-brainer. I want what you want. And then the fifth accelerator is a leaky-proof sales pipeline. We don't want people dropping off throughout the process of you trying to actually get them into your funnel, getting into the sales system, and actually you trying to sign them on. Getting a leaky-proof sales pipeline is really simple. I've shown this in a previous episode, but I want to take you through this again. This sales pipeline is 6 steps. Once we go through the first step, we need to make sure that they're going through the application, that they're choosing a time, that you're warming them up, that you're having a really good first conversation to make sure that they are a good fit and that you can help them, and then you're able to actually sign them on. This is when you're going to be able to then next be able to have the conversation for them. But really importantly, before them choosing a time in your calendar and you having that first conversation, we need to be able to actually get them warmed up. We need to get them to know what it is that you do, the actual proof in the pudding of how you get your clients results, what those results really look like, so they have confidence in actually coming onto that call. And then we have that 2-step call close process that is just working like gangbusters. And it's so easy because it's not a sales script. It's simply a simple framework for you to understand, can you actually help that person, for that person to understand that you can actually help them, and for you to be able to sign them on board. So we've gone through a lot here, and most coaches are asking, this is great, but how do I actually implement this? And the easiest next step for this is for you to book in what we call a strategy session. This is a quick 15-minute chat with me and my team for us to know, can we actually help you, and to put together your game plan so you know what are the best next steps for you to be able to build your business. I'll pop a link below for you to choose a time for your strategy session, and then we'll be able to actually put together what it is that you need. So click the link below, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you real soon.